guys, welcome to Full Out Flying Solo. I feel like we're starting to plan some trips for like spring break trips or like where we're going. And something that I feel like I've gone really full out on in the past is planning really bad trips. I think that I'm not the best at planning trips, but because I'm such a full out person where I feel like I like to pride myself on the fact that I can handle like any layover, any kind of a travel situation. I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll fly on Spirit and I'll just wear all of my clothes on the flight or something so that they don't charge me extra. Or I one time flew home from Europe when we were visiting Marco's family, and I flew home early for some reason and with the dog, and I was like, I'll fly on this airline because it's so cheaper. And it was basically like the Spirit Airlines of France or something. So I flew on that all the way from Europe with the dog. And I remember they landed us at LAX, but like in this really weird part of the airport that I had no idea even existed. It basically was like a blow up tent that's in the back of LAX. It really was like a pop up. Like, I don't know, it looked like an ice skating rink or something was popped up back there. And that was like the gate. And then we had to take like 3 buses just to get to baggage claim. And I was like, I don't know why I do this stuff to myself, but it's because as I'm booking the trip, I'm like, I can handle that. I can save $100 and handle that. Like, who cares? And then I get there and I'm like, who booked this? And I'm like, oh, I booked this. I did this to myself. And I feel like in the past, I was like, yeah, I can handle all of that. But now I have kids and a family. And I feel like the stuff that I've put us through, if I book the trip, is like a disaster. And there's stuff that I can handle on my own versus stuff that I can handle with my whole family. But I do think Marco has been he's gotten a lot of the brunt of my bad booking of trips in the past. So one time I feel like this was probably like 2018 or something. It was before kids or before COVID. And I really wanted to go to this thing called Rise Festival because I'd been seeing it on Instagram. This is so embarrassing. Okay, Rise Festival is like, okay, I think all the like bloggers, influencer people were going to Rise Festival. Do you know what Rise Festival is, Molly? Molly knows what Rise Festival is. So it's in the desert by Vegas. And basically it's these huge like lanterns that you light up and you write something on it. You write something on a piece of paper, I guess, that you want to release or like not have in your life anymore, give up, like a way of being or something. Or maybe even something you want to happen. I think it's like a letting go of something. And then you put it in this lantern, light it up, and there's all these like glowing lanterns in the sky, like Tangled. If you've seen Tangled, that's basically what happens in the desert. And it's close to Vegas. It's like 30 minutes outside of Vegas, but there's no hotels around it. And so I tell Marco, like, we have to go to Rise Festival. I don't know what phase of my life I was in that I was so into going to Rise Festival, but I was like, we should go to this. And I buy us tickets to Rise Festival. I book us a hotel in Vegas, and then it's like a month later, we're supposed to go to Rise Festival. We're going to go on a Saturday morning. The festival's that day. You light the lanterns at 9, and then we're staying at this hotel in Vegas and then coming home the next day. So we're going to drive there. And I got a commercial callback on a Saturday, which like, of course, anytime you have any plans, you'll get like a commercial something. And I was like, I have to go to this. Let's just like go to this. It was at like 4 p.m. or something. Maybe it was like in the afternoon, early afternoon. So I was like, okay, I think we can go to my commercial callback, just be packed and ready to go to Rise Festival. I was so committed to going to this. And then we'll make it in time just to like let the lanterns off. And then we'll go stay the night in Vegas and go home. And Marco, like being so nice, was like, okay, like I guess we're doing that. And so we go to my commercial callback. He waits in the car. I come out. We start driving to Vegas. I'm looking up the festival on Instagram, and all these people we're like an hour out of where the festival is. All these people are starting to say like, it's super windy and it's lightning, like heat lightning and windy, and they may close the festival down and make us all have to leave. And we're an hour away from the festival. And then as we're getting closer, they're like, oh yeah, the cops are here. They're kicking everyone out. They're making us all leave the festival. And Marco's like, should we just go home? And I was like, no, we're like an hour away from Vegas. We should just like go to Vegas and like, let's just go to dinner in Vegas and then spend the night and go home. So the festival gets canceled. We drive to like the arts district of Vegas, which somebody had told us about this cool restaurant to go to down there. So we're like, okay, this is fun. It's like not real Vegas. We're not like on the strip. We're like doing something different. We go to this restaurant. It's like a wine bar thing. And then we decide to like write on the back of our receipt the thing that we were going to write at the Rise Festival. And then we went in the alley behind the restaurant and just like took a lighter and like lit our thing on fire and like watched it like blow off into the wind, which is probably a fire hazard. And maybe I'm going to get arrested for that now saying that out loud. This was also, this was a long time ago. And, we thought it was so funny and we're like, okay, we're making the best of this like situation, this thing that happened. And then we drive into the strip where our hotel is. And I thought we were staying at the Wynn. And I don't know Vegas very well, but I do know I stayed at the Wynn for a bachelorette party and it was really nice. And then I go to look up our booking confirmation and I'm like, oh, weird. We're not staying at the Wynn. We're staying at the Flamingo. And if you know Vegas at all, the Flamingo is like so bad. It's like the oldest, worst hotel on the strip. And I was like, I guess maybe I did a last minute like cheap move when I was booking it. And I started to like remember that maybe I had gotten offered like this cheaper hotel for $100. And I was like, oh, we're only staying there for one night. It doesn't matter. So now it's midnight. We pull into the Flamingo. We park. It is the most disgusting hotel. It reeks of cigarettes and like cherry like perfume that they've like sprayed through the air to like try and get rid of the smell. And Marco's looking at me like, I can't believe this is what we're doing, Brittany. And we go to check in. The line to check in at midnight is an hour and a half long. It is not moving. It is wrapped around. We're like waiting behind people forever. I'm getting so mad. And we're looking up other hotels on Expedia to be like, we got to just like, we're trying to figure out how to cancel our hotel and see if we can find something else. I'm on the phone with Expedia because that's who I booked it through. And they're like, you can't cancel. And the people at the front desk are just like, there's like one person working there. It was like a disaster. And it's like so trashy. It was like so trashy there. Like Vegas trashy can be fun, but this was like the not fun way of Vegas trashy, you know? And I was like, oh my God. And they're like letting people cut weirdly in front of the line to check in. And everybody's so mad that they're letting people cut. And I was like, why are you guys doing that? And like, anyways, we get to the front. Marco's found this other hotel that we can book. I think like maybe at the Wynn or something. And we get to the front and we're like, Expedia says you have to approve that we cancel the hotel. And they were like, okay, like we'll approve it that you're canceling the hotel. So I cancel it. And then Marco goes to book the Wynn and it's like sold out. And then he like looks at another hotel and it's like sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. Everything was saying it was available, but it was all sold out. So now it's 1 a.m. We've not gone to the festival. We now don't have a hotel room in Vegas. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe some are just available. So Marco's driving around this, like me around the strip, stopping me in front of different hotels. I'm running around and being like, hey, do you have any rooms available? I'm like, basically like, do you have any rooms at the inn? And we're like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're like gonna, if we drive home, we'll get home at 5 a.m. and we'll basically have just been in the car since my commercial audition. And so we can't find a hotel. We consider driving home. We consider like sleeping in our car. We're like, I don't know. We're going to be too tired to drive home. And then we find a hotel at the Golden Nugget, which is like, in downtown Vegas. And this is also like a while ago because I think the Golden Nugget has since had like a revamp and it's still not good. But like this is before the revamp. So we go to the Golden Nugget now like 2 a.m. and they give us a room. We go up. It reeks of cigarette smoke, even though it said it was a non-smoking room. And I was like, no, we cannot. It's like smells like, it's not just like a little bit of smoke. It's like it's like you're living inside an ashtray in that room. And so we go down and I'm like, you don't understand. Like I made like some bad mistakes along the way on this trip. And like and they were so nice. And they actually upgraded us to a suite at the Golden Nugget, which was like hilarious because it was still like not great, but it was nice of them. So you stay at the Golden Nugget, which is, we find out that it was the biggest WWE fight of the year was that night in Vegas. And that's why everything was sold out. And the only thing available was the Golden Nugget. And I feel like the people who stayed at the Golden Nugget were people who like didn't stay at the Strip. It's like even trashier than like the Flamingo where we were originally supposed to stay. And in the morning, I remember I went on a run in downtown Vegas and then I was like, okay, I need to burn all of these clothes that I just ran in because this is so gross. And then I went to get us a coffee and there were people like ordering like, you know, like shots and stuff at like 8 a.m. and like Jack Daniels on the rocks. And we're like, where are we? And then we drove home and we decided that I shouldn't be in charge of planning the trips that we go on because doesn't turn out too well when I'm in charge of it. But yeah, anyways, if anyone wants to go on a group trip with me, let me know. I'll plan something fun for us. All right, Molly's going to read some of your full out stories that you guys sent in.
Okay, so we've got 2 today. I'm going to start with the one about a vacation because it seems a little timely.
Oh, amazing.
From Claire. So this story is about my dad being a full out person. My dad can't let anyone do anything for him. He has to do everything himself, even if he doesn't know how. As a family, we finally decided to splurge on a vacation. And right before the vacation, he decided he was going to build us a deck. We didn't need a deck. During the building process, he gave himself a hernia and spent the whole vacation hobbling around with a cane.
Oh my gosh.
So while trying to save money on a deck, he ended up spending even more money fixing a hernia.
Oh my gosh. I kind of get it though. Like
that sounds like something you do.
Yeah, it does sound like something I would do. I wish I knew how to build a deck. That's amazing.
I wish I could be handy. I mean, no shade to my dad, but he's not handy at all. And so I feel like I just didn't learn any of that stuff. I'm more handy than he is though. So that's saying something. Yeah.
My kids have this clubhouse in the back that like I designed but didn't build. Yeah. You know? But then we somebody painted the outside of it. And then he was like, I think it would be fun for you and Penelope to paint the inside of it. And he pitched the idea to me. And I was like, oh, yeah, that would be like a fun project. Yeah. Penelope and I could paint. So I go and I like pick out the paint colors. We like get it all set up. Her and I are like painting. I thought I bought 2 rollers, but it only was like actually 1. So she's painting the whole inside with like an actual paintbrush like this big. And I'm using a roller and we're out there for like hours and it's still not fully painted. And I was like, oh my God. And like texting Marco, who's like inside resting. I was like, can you just like finish this clubhouse situation? Because it's a mess. And then I came in and I was like, painting is so hard. And he's like, I know, I didn't know why you like agreed to do that. And I was like, well, Ricardo like pitched it to me and like I should do it. And he's like, you know, Ricardo paints with a sprayer, right? And I was like, what? And he's like, he paints with like a spray thing that just he's like, he would have just sprayed the whole thing. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, me and Penelope have been like sweating, like our arms are both sore. We're like busting our ass to paint this clubhouse, but it does feel good that I like did it. Even though it's not done.
Yeah, no, painting is hard. I've moved 13 times in my life. Whoa. And so we always like have so many houses to fix up and rooms to paint or whatever. And like to personalize our rooms growing up, my parents would have us like paint our own rooms when we move. And
So
so,
they
I've
did teach
painted
you
a lot.
something.
Yeah, I guess they did teach us how to paint.
So can you
we've
finish the
painted a lot.
clubhouse?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
No, but painting's really hard. But we did have in my childhood room in Texas when we lived there, my parents like got into this concept of like murals on our walls. And so they hired this like college student to like paint murals of our favorite Disney characters on the walls, which was
Cute.
so much fun. But I was like, I had like such a crush on the student. I was like 5, but I had such a big crush on him. And so I would like sit in the room and like tell him stories for like hours as he was painting. And my parents would be like, Molly, leave him alone. Like he wants to listen to music.
You're like, well, you shouldn't have chose to paint my room then. That's so funny.
Yes, exactly. Okay, this one is anonymous. I think this is our first anonymous write-in.
I love it.
After I read the story, I can understand why it's anonymous. Okay. Hi, Full Out team. Hi, Britt. I gotta not share my name for this one because it's so embarrassing. I had a guy sleeping over after we went out the night before. I was super hungover and my stomach was hurting. We were chatting in my living room when all of a sudden I just shit myself. Not like full out, but I trusted a fart and it just came out. I shoved a pillow where I was sitting and sprinted to the shower. I cried in the shower for 20 minutes expecting him to check the chair and find out. Turns out he didn't check the chair, and when I got out of the shower, I was able to lie and say it was my period, and I raced to clean the chair. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I would have done more than cry in the shower. I would have escaped out of my bathroom window and ran.
Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. I also feel like, why would you expect him to check the chair? I feel like that's so gross. That's the part of me that was like, what? Like, why would anyone want to do that?
But I don't think he knew. I don't know. But like she just got up and I know. See, I wish we could ask follow-up questions so badly.
I know. If you want to
to
write
the
back
write-ins.
in with the follow-up of it. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Are you
so-
still seeing him? Have you ever told him what's happening?
I guess you can always blame it on your period. But
Yeah. Yeah.
oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing.
That's really embarrassing. I think I have had period accidents before, but I feel like that's always like, then I'm like, oh, well, if you're not cool about a period accident, then like, fuck you. Like, I don't know. Then I'm very like,
so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more your generation. I feel like our generation was not like that. It was like, I remember stealing tampons from the grocery store when I was in high school because I knew the guy who worked at the cash register.
oh my gosh.
So I just
and you
decided
didn't
to steal them instead.
That's no, okay. Yeah, no,
That's
I will
insane,
literally like I will walk around with a tampon like in a restaurant, just like loose in my hand to like go change in the bathroom. Like,
wow, you're such a feminist.
I
love it.
So like it's too much sometimes where my mom's like, Molly, like just like on the down
You're
low.
like, I
And
just
I'm like,
want
no,
everybody
Mom.
to know that this is why my mood might be a little
off.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
my gosh.
that's crazy. That's really crazy. But
Okay,
anyway,
well,
those are
guys,
two stories.
Thanks for writing in those stories. Anonymous. Thank you.
Fancy. Yeah, see, you can share really embarrassing stories. We'll keep it anonymous.
Yes.
We're not going to use your name. I promise.
We won't.
Yes.
And yeah, keep sending us your stories at Thoughts at Full Out Pod, or you can DM us on TikTok or Instagram. We love to hear them.
Yes. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.